Where are my Miami Cubans at? Stand up for what you supported in 2024. Stand up for what you supported. Oh, you thought he wasn't talking about you, right? He wasn't talking about you. He was talking about the illegals. Even though we tried to tell you, if your skin color was brown and you talk Spanish, he wants you out of the country.
Like, they are hunting us down like animals. Like, and are you all okay with this? Just because we look this way? Just because of our names? Like, what? I'm so angry. Like, there is so much rage watching those videos of raids in construction sites, like on the street, and by Proud Boys, by white supremacists. They're hunting us down because we look this way, because we speak this way, because we go, like, I don't understand how people are still defending this man.
You're only upset because it's happening to your culture. We tried to warn everyone, especially black women. Hi, I am the 92%. We told you this would happen. See, it's not that we don't care. It's not that we don't have empathy and compassion for what's going on with the deportations. No, we greatly understand it because we've been experiencing it, baby, for 400 years. So when you say, how are you handling this? Welcome to our world. This is what African Americans have been living under for over 400 years in this country.
When you see this story of Cuban-Americans, Latino, Venezuelans for Trump, the way since mass deportation started, these people are passing through a lot because ICE, the way they are detaining them in a brutal way is something bad. And you remember, these people came out in a big number to vote for this, thinking that they are going to get good life, great America. But this time around, they started even to report them in El Salvador. Even they don't even fear to get small kids of 2 years, even when you are sick. Many things are really happening. Let's watch these different people, the way they are explaining this situation. Let me know your thought and your opinion. Then we'll come back with more commentary.
I bet Cubans for Trump hate to see my fat ass coming, but you knew I was coming. You knew I would not let 24 hours pass before I would get on here and have my fucking say. 530,000 Cuban, Haitian, and Venezuelan refugees have got to get the fuck up out of here. Their refugee status has been canceled. But remember that one time when that black lady was running for president and she tried to tell your motherfucking asses? And you didn't listen. You were singing, I will vote for Donald Trump. Remember that? We tried to warn you. Now the time is up. TikTok, you got to get the fuck up out of here. And nobody's sorry for you. You thought because your skin was just a tad bit lighter than the other Latinos that you were the chosen ones and you were special. You thought you would be able to stay. You were different. You're not. You're not. And we tried to warn you. Kamala tried to warn you. Now, if Kamala was president, you could have proudly stayed, but you didn't want her as president. You proudly would vote for Donald Trump, and you probably still would. So get the fuck up out of here. And on another note, he pardoned the Chrisleys and Larry Hoover. True criminals. But he wants your motherfucking asses up out of here. Now run along. Toodaloo. Bye-bye.
¿Por qué están arrestando personas inocentes que solo huyen de una dictadura, de una tiranía asesina comunista?
Tras la detención de la joven cubana Laura de la Caridad González Sánchez, líderes del movimiento anticomunista I-220A expresaron su apoyo.
Como movimiento legal en el estado de la Florida, necesitamos por favor que se tomen en cuenta que si no hemos cometido crimen, que tenemos nuestras vidas organizadas, nuestro asilo pendiente, que por favor no tenemos por qué vivir con este terror.
I will vote
will vote. I will vote for Donald Trump. That's what y'all did. Those people didn't even get paid to do that. That's crazy. The wordplay that the GOP specifically used in Florida, especially Miami, on Venezuelans and Cubans is unreal. They told you guys that they're only going after the criminals. You guys are the criminals. When you come to this country illegally, that's the crime. But what you do is you seek asylum because you're saying you're running away from a very bad government. But you still have to get here to seek asylum. And when you seek asylum, you give your name, where you're living, where you're working. That's how this works. So that's what they did. They didn't go around trying to find a bunch of illegal immigrants everywhere because that's difficult to do. Apart from the farms and the construction sites, it's hard to find illegal immigrants in the country. They don't leave a paper trail. But people that seek asylum do. And that's why they went to y'all houses in Miami and picked y'all up because they knew where you were at.
We all know and understand that the Latino community voted against their own self-interest. And a lot of us, myself included, have been openly celebrating the fuck around and find out we're seeing with them in real time. And we all have preconceived notions of what that mass deportation would look like. But none of us really ever knew what it was and how heartless the U.S., especially the politicians, were until now. Check this out.
Are you a little nervous this morning?
Wouldn't you be?
See? Do you understand what these proceedings here in court are all about?
How could he?
You know what a lawyer is?
This is America.
Did you know that Cuban deportees, especially the ones that are political dissidents and the ones seeking asylum in the U.S., face a significant risk of torture when they come back to Cuba? So when we ask ourselves, when will Latinos for Trump open their eyes, specifically the Cuban ones? The answer is they never will. And there's no better example than a Cuban for Trump than El Funky. He's a Cuban rapper that's currently facing deportation and possible imprisonment in Cuba since his music helped fuel anti-government protests in Cuba. Someone that's been really silent about this case is self-hating Marco Rubio, a Cuban himself. It's a perfect illustration of how much Marco Rubio has changed up during the Trump presidency. Even just a year ago, I'm sure Marco Rubio would have been the loudest person about this case. It's also a crazy example of how much Trump has changed up about Cuban immigration policies. For decades, the U.S. has rolled out the red carpet for Cubans, despite Trump refusing to help these Cubans who have overwhelmingly voted for him. They are still very much pro-Trump, including the rapper El Funky. Talk about fucking around and never finding out.
Mi gente. I haven't done one of these in a while. Between the Cuban Adjustment Act and then when they started, when they took away their refugee status, I came on here and I talked about it again and I kind of make fun of them. But anyway, here's another one for the record. Cuban-Americans take front and fucking center. Cubans for Trump. Front and fucking center. Let's talk about it because I know you don't want to talk about it now, right? Now you're avoiding me at all fucking costs, right? And I think it's funny, but in the last fucking week, this administration has gone after you super hard. Super hard. Even those that have been in the country for a fucking while are getting detained and being threatened to be fucking deported. And he is coming after you. There goes the fucking articles. Because I know you're going to say I'm lying. But I'm not lying. And if it hasn't happened to you yet, it's just a matter of fucking time. Once he revoked your refugee status for you, Haitians and Venezuelans, right? Now you don't have the protections and that your asses voted for, right? Do you remember all the videos? Your votes, voy a votar por Donald Trump. Right? Remember that? Remember how many of you came to my page to talk shit? Who's fucking laughing now? Who's fucking laughing now?
I just heard the news about the humanitarian protection being canceled. I hate that for the Nicaraguans, Venezuelans, and the Haitians. I love y'all. I'm from Fort Pierce. I love y'all to pieces, and I rock with y'all. Baby, whatever you need me to do, you let me know what I can do to help. But them Cubans from Miami, y'all can get the fuck out of here. You ain't never heard me talk about going to Miami to visit. All my family from that area is gone from Miami. The only time I go down there is to shop and to eat. I don't fuck around with South Beach. I don't fuck around with Miami Cubans. They turn Florida red. They racist. And I tell every group of young kids, do not go down there supporting their business because they don't fuck around with y'all. They don't like us. To my Latins for Trump. Look what it couldn't have happened to a better group of people. Fuck y'all, get the fuck on. I'm sorry, not sorry.
Latinos for Trump. Specifically, Miami Cubans for Trump. Bring your ass. You bitches on my docket today. Y'all are the definition of political pick-me's. You're so eager, like ready, willing, and fucking able to go from one dictator to the fucking next. Now, I know y'all not systematically accustomed to freedom, but trust me, it's a good thing. Now, when it comes to you white presenting Cubans, I can understand, whether it be you naturally look that way or, you got the work done. I can understand your delusion in terms of, having proximity to whiteness and thinking that you're going to get a seat at the table. And while you may get a seat, it is with the express understanding that the moment you act familiar, them envelopians gonna put you in your place quick, fast, and in a motherfucking hurry by letting you know that you're simply a guest. But again, you look the part, so I can understand. But it's you Celia Cruz looking motherfuckers that blow me. Have you niggas looked in a fucking mirror? Like, let's keep it a fucking Goya bean in this bitch. The closest you're getting to a seat at the table is looking at that motherfucker through the window while you cutting the grass. Like, it is what the fuck it is. But since y'all think y'all got it like that, let's try a little experiment. When ICE roll up to collect you niggas, Elian Gonzalez style, I want you to look them square in the face. And I want you to say these 5 words to them. I know black eye Cuban. And let me know how the fuck it goes. Send me a postcard with Fidel on the fucking front. And when they send you back home, I hope you can't take shit with you but your fucking MAGA merch. As a permanent reminder that the president you voted for is the same president that sent you fucking packing. For decades, we've been trying to give y'all a wake-up call. I bet now you niggas wish you would have picked up the phone.
The mass deportation regulations are shaking. Currently in America, Trump is working alongside ICE to remove all the Latin and Latinx people out of America back to their countries of origin, even if some of those people actually have been American citizens for over 20 years. Now, there's a young man that lived here, Ricardo Vasquez. He's from Venezuela. Well, he went on the wrong bridge in Detroit and he ended up getting deported to a high security El Salvadorian prison. There's a lot to this story. Let's talk about it. It's been a huge news story the past couple of weeks that there was a list of El Salvadorian gang members allegedly that Trump deported and had sent back to a high security prison in El Salvador. One of the people that got deported actually was an American citizen, and Trump asked for that man back. Well, the El Salvadorian president said no. He said, no, sorry, I don't care if he's one of yours. You can't have him back. Going with the rhetoric that other countries are going on right now, very anti-American, and it's like global. So he had to stick it to Trump and say, I don't care if he was one of yours and you want him back. I said no. And that's kind of what it's giving. Well, these people, these El Salvadorian prisoners, they have been identified as MS-13. They've been identified by their tattoos. Now, I know you're wondering, how can Trump have all these people just moved out without thoroughly going through the proper documentation? Well, he ignited a law called the Aliens Enemies Act. It's a century-old act. We're going to get into the description in a minute, but he was able to deport in one day 137 people. 101 are deported under the regular immigration procedures, and then 23 Salvadorian men were deported with alleged ties to gangs.
Why did ICE say that your husband was detained?
Because of his tattoos.
Has he been charged?
No, we don't have any charges. He's never been given anything.
Today, Judy Maldonado Rawl driving 6 hours from El Paso to the Bluebonnet detention facility. Her husband, Eduardo Dabuin Rawl, a Venezuelan national, among them. In this video she shared, her husband making a plea hours before his then imminent deportation and denying he is a member of the Tren de Aragua gang, saying we are simply being unjustly judged because of our tattoos. Dabuin Rawl's wife says he came to the country legally in 2023 through a parole program, which the Trump administration has since tried to eliminate. But a federal judge earlier this week temporarily blocked that effort. On Friday night, he says he was among the Venezuelans heading to an airport at the exact same time a federal judge heard arguments from lawyers trying to stop the men's deportations.
They were told, well, you were lucky you were sent back because you were going to El Salvador, not Venezuela.
Then they turned back to the ICE facility. Several of the detainees, along with Dabuin Rawl, recording via video call their own testimonials to family, arguing they're wrongfully accused and holding up their removal orders. NBC News was not able to locate any state or federal criminal records for Dabuin Rawl.
I want to give you an update about an interesting angle that is developing. So Maduro, who is the leader down in Venezuela, who himself, by the way, has been accused of pretty serious human rights violations, has gone to the UN. And he is he's asking them to take a look at not only the legality of the deal that was written between the United States and Bukele, and I myself made a video yesterday referencing the Leahy Law, and then I found out that that is exactly what he's asking them to look at and the Leahy Law basically says that U.S. taxpayer dollars can't be used to fund things in foreign nations where there are basically gross human rights violations. It should be said that Maduro in Venezuela is very anti-U.S. He's very pro-Russia, pro-China, sees himself as sort of the protector of the global South. He feels like LA down in El Salvador is like the U.S.'s pawn. We're going to have, people in blue helmets and shields storming Seacoast going down to El Salvador. But what can happen here, which is why this is such an interesting development, UN takes this up and they investigate and they allow, and then Seacoast, El Salvador allows external observers to come in, look at what's happening, and they can document, grave human rights violations happening here. Put a lot of international pressure on El Salvador and the United States. What can happen is you could have countries that listen to the UN saying, okay, sanctions against both countries be referred up to the International Criminal Court, which of course the United States is not a part of, but El Salvador is. And that can mean trials, sentences, prison time, for officials in El Salvador who are doing these things. Also important because if the countries that listen to the UN feel like, that's what's going on between these two countries, the US and El Salvador, that they're engaged in human rights violations, that can affect things like loans to both countries, foreign aid, capital investment, because it would be seen, it would give the ick factor, for lack of a better way to say it, to the United States and the El Salvador from the international community, because doing business with them would be like doing business with people with whom there has been well-documented human rights violations. So an important development that we will keep an eye on.
Today's my last day right here in the United States.
So weird. I'm not going to be living here anymore. That's so weird. Yeah.
It's quite funny to see how some people were just there all over America thinking that they want a new administration, they want to support a new candidate because they think they are going to get a good life, they are going to get everything. But when you come back in this story of these Cuban-Americans, these Latino, these Venezuelans, they have that legal status, they've been having many benefits more than even American citizens. But these people, they forget that they are foreigner in that land. They came massively to vote for DT, but this time around, they have been reminded they are going to revoke their legal status and they should be get ready to deported in their home countries. Guys, many things are keep happening, but this time around, when you see how these people, they no longer even take them in their home country. They started to deport them in El Salvador. And you know, that prison is a dead prison. There is nothing good there. This time around, you have seen many people are still saying about this small kid of 2 years they deported. There is many things when they mistakenly deport you. There is no way to come back. Even if you have a citizen, there is nothing right now they can do for you. But you remember the time DT was campaigning, these people were all over internet, were having flags here and there on their house, saying that we think that this time around we are going to be a part of white supremacy, we are going to have this new administration, we are going to have everything we want. But these people, this time around, there is no anyone to talk about them. There is no anyone who want to hear them. Many judges has been there saying, no, ICE is detaining them in a brutal way, in an inhuman way, the way they are deporting them as a criminals. We don't want to see something like that. But there is no anyone there to hear that. Even the government, even any many things are happening on these people because they brought all this themselves. Imagine you've been there living a peaceful way. Biden administration has given you legal protection status. You have that benefit here and there, but all of the sudden you came out, you jump in politics or the things you don't know. You started to say, oh, we are joining this, we are joining this, we are joining this. And this time around, there is no anyone even care to hear your voice. We hope these things of mass deportation, maybe they will try to do something about it, because each and every day is getting worse. People are crying because I've never seen someone ICE detained and return them back in USA, because they say once you are deported, there is no any way to come back. You remember this story of Gracia. Till death, many people came out to talk about him, the way he have a family, they should report him back to USA. But till death is still very difficult to finish that case. What about the other people who don't have anyone to talk about them? You remember that driver who mistakenly got deported when he was in a wrong border on Canada, and till death, no one is going to help them. Because this time around, DT doesn't pray. When they said that I'm going to deport undocumented migrant, I'm going to do this, people thought that maybe he's campaigning, he can do something like this. But it's really happening, and it's happening in a bad way, in a harmful way. I don't know how to explain this situation, because when you see how some families are the victim of these people, because not all Cubans came out to vote for this, but when you see the way they are treating them, once ICE hear you speaking Spanish, they come for you. When they see you going to throw a bean outside your house, they they come for you. They are all over. They are all over. Recently, you have seen how they detain this 100 undocumented in a basement in a club. You can't even tell how they knew that in that club there is 100 undocumented people. Just try to imagine. And these people, when they try to tell them, please don't do this, don't vote for this, they never want to hear anything. Guys, many things are keep happening. There's a lot of court cases they don't want to resolve. Let me know what you think today's episode. Thank you for watching this episode. See you in my next video. Bye.